Hello and welcome to Magical Travel Adventure. I am here today with my fellow agent, Sarah. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, thank you.
So, Sarah is one of the agents that I work with Carry On the Magic, and she is a Disneyland expert.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to let Sarah tell you a little bit about herself, and then we're going to talk about Disneyland and Halloween.
I love Disneyland. If anyone lets me talk about it, I'll talk your ear off about it. And my number one favorite thing is Halloween at Disneyland. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and she and I have magic keys, and we always try to schedule that Halloween time because it's just over the years has gotten more and more involved in terms of how much Disneyland Resort is putting into both of their parks and decorating for Halloween. And the most recent thing was last few years was the Oogie Boogie Bash. So it is a must do. As everyone knows, this year sold out in record time. So
I know, that was unexpected.
I expected it just
Really?
because of trends. First year, 20 weeks to sell out, right? You could basically buy day of if you wanted to in those September dates. Next time, half as many days to sell out. Okay, so then I'm thinking we're shrinking our time down because the appetite is there. And then if we go by this year, everything seems to be triple, right? In terms of interest, if you wanted to do it now, your interest is triple that. So the interest was there, and I was like, oh, these are going to sell out in no time. And sure enough, so hoping I can get a hold of some now.
Well, I love how you're wearing a nice Halloween themed shirt for the show too.
Here, looks
And
like
your hair.
my
Yeah.
little bones there. Yeah, Halloween's in July for me, so I start now. I start now.
Well, just to remind people, Disneyland is obviously different than Disney World. Disneyland is in California, and a lot of my coverage is in Disney World. So I'm very excited to have you on, Sarah, because it's been a long time since I've been to Disneyland.
Oh yes.
So it's great to have you on. And I know you have been to Disneyland in the past, obviously, like you said.
Oh yeah. I would say I've spent hundreds of visits there. I grew up in Southern California, and I had family members that worked there, so we were just there all the time. And then once I got to be an adult, that's what we did for fun, like every weekend. So very versed in Disneyland. When I moved to Portland, where I am now, it's like such a heartache to be this far away and have to like book travel and book airfare. But now I became very versed in that end of it. So now I use both those superpowers to help people.
That's good. And if you are interested in booking with Sarah, her information is below and or in the show
Yeah.
notes if you're listening to the podcast. You can always reach out to me and I can get you to Sarah also if you can't figure that out. And if you like this content, if you can like, subscribe and hit that bell notification, we are going live every day in July. And Sarah's actually going to be on again talking about Disneyland later this month. So
Yeah.
it'll
My
definitely
second
be good.
favorite topic. Sorry. Yeah. My second favorite topic, which is hotels to stay at nearby. So,
Yeah, because it works totally different than Disney World.
gosh, yeah. It's so many to choose from. So I love to help people sift through all that.
Yeah, definitely a lot. All right, so let's talk some Disneyland Halloween. So I have so nicely put together pictures that Sarah has shared with me, but I didn't let her know what order I was going to put them in or how I was going to group them. So they might not have any combination that makes sense. But Sarah's so good. She can talk about each of these slides and kind of walk us through what it's like.
So at Disneyland Resort, they start their Halloween season in September. Usually that first week of September, you can plan on. So this year we're seeing it September 2nd. And one of the things they love to do, and everyone flocks there for, is this Nightmare Before Christmas overlay for the Haunted Mansion. So the Haunted Mansion ride is going to go down for refurbishment in the schedule, and basically they're going to take the classic Haunted Mansion, turn it into this our beloved Nightmare Before Christmas, starting August 15th. So if you want to ride that ride, better get to Disneyland before then if you want to see Classic Haunted Mansion. But they started this overlay in the late 90s, and every year there's little special things that are different. Sometimes they have a little character in there. One year you have a scavenger hunt for Oogie Boogie. So it's always, even though it's the same overlay, there's some little things that change. And one thing that's fun is every year they have a different gingerbread house. So if you go through in the Haunted Mansion in Disney World, where you are, or your home park, we'll call it, um, when you're going through the ballroom scene, they have in there this big gingerbread house that they spend 3 or 4 months putting together at the Disneyland Resort, and every year it's a different design, and so it's fun to kind of look and see what the new design's going to be. And they pump out the gingerbread smell when you're going through there, so it's a lot of fun.
That is fun. I like that they do that special overlay because we don't really have that. Like they they say at Disney World they do like overlays, and normally it's like some sort of special light feature or like a little like, oh, we added Christmas lights. So
Sometimes they put a little Christmas sweater on Figment, right? Journey through
yeah.
imagination. So yeah, that's an overlay.
That's
No, this is
this
in
is
depth. The
real.
music changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find Jack and Sally outside on the terrace up on the top level of the mansion while you're waiting in line. It's great.
Nice. All right.
So here I am holding a flaming pumpkin in over by the partner statue. Directly behind me, which you don't see, is the beautiful Sleeping Beauty castle. So here's a fun little photo op that they'll do for you. This was back when the park had just reopened after COVID had closed it down for a bit. So if you can't see my face, I had like a flesh covered colored mask on to kind of do like a Halloween Oogie Boogie kind of theme thing. But yeah, and so if you see any of the Photopass and you get Disney Plus for your day at Halloween, for Halloween time at Disney Park, even if you're not going to Oogie Boogie Bash and you have Genie Plus, then you have photos added for your account, like the Photopass for the day. So if you see the Photopass photographers in these little spots, like here in California, Disney's California Adventure, there's like a headless horseman statue. Um, you can ask them if they have any magic shots. And this is one of the things that they can do. And you can kind of have some of these fun Halloween shots.
Okay, so I have multiple questions on that. As a
Okay.
reminder, at Disneyland, PhotoPass is included when you buy Genie Plus. So at Disney World,
Correct.
we do not have that option. We still have to pay. And then, so at Disney World, the big thing is like some PhotoPass photographers have like super long lines, like even in a regular day park. Is that what it's like at Disneyland?
It can depend. So there is, and I'm sure you have a picture of it here because it's the famous, everyone wants to get it. There is a giant Mickey shaped pumpkin on Main
Oh,
Street, USA. And yep, there it is. The line for this photo opportunity is quite long. This one was taken by my beautiful photographer daughter because we are on one side of this guy, and if you can tell, he's kind of winking at you, kind of face. Directly on the reverse side, he's making kind of like an open-eyed, different expression, and that has a really long line with a photo pass. But if you want to come on this side, you can kind of get a photo, and you're not having to wait in that line if you want to take a photo on your own. So they have like the two options because it's such a famous photo spot that everyone wants their photo in front of. So if you want those kind of photos, maybe say right when you walk in the gate, right at the train station, and they'll have like a floral that's kind of like fall themed. That's going to have a line. Taking photos in front of the castle early afternoon is going to have a line. But other than that, a lot of times you can find the PhotoPass photographers just kind of kicking rocks, looking around, and you can kind of just grab them and say, hey, we want to take some photos. And they would love to because they have really not a lot going on. So they love to take lots and lots of photos and lots of poses, and you with the family, you alone, different things. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Okay, I have another question back at this picture. So I want everything that you're wearing. Like I want, I know your purse isn't even fully showing here, but like I want that
Yeah.
purse, I want that shirt, I want those ears.
Yeah. So Old Navy has some really great Disney cheap t-shirts,
Oh my
Halloween
gosh.
themed.
That is
Yes.
such a good idea.
Start checking even now. Every year I get one. This year, my daughter, who is not in the photo, she's wearing one similar, but it's got like Mickey as Frankenstein. So they have some really cute ones, really cheap. You can get them sometimes on Old Navy's deals where they get t-shirts like 5, $6. So that's what I love to do because those park t-shirts can be $30, $40 and they're adorable, they're well made, but they are an investment. And if you just want something you can be, running around the park all day in, Old Navy. My ears, a Disneyland classic. Those I got those from Shop Disney. Another tip, if you're looking for things that you know are going to be popular, these came out in the park and were wildly popular. So I, here in Portland, Oregon, just stocked Shop Disney at midnight Pacific time is when they put new merchandise out. So they have a page that just has park merchandise. So you can go to Disneyland Park, sort it by new to the top right at midnight. And these came out and I was able to snag them before they sold out. I think they went real fast. So that's a Shop Disney trick for you if you guys are looking for that hard to find stuff. But yeah, in my bag is a little stuffed pumpkin Mickey, the Harvey's bag. Another thing that I stock Shop Disney. Um, I follow some folks on Instagram that are really involved in the merch that's coming out and have their finger on that pulse. And so I'll follow them and they're like, oh, it's coming out on this day at this time. So I'll set my alarms and be ready because I come correct when it comes to Halloween. So,
Yeah, well, my son's in this big kick of him and I wearing matching shirts. So we have our
ah,
Christmas shirts from last year at Disney World, and we wear them every single Monday. On Mondays, we wear our Disney Christmas shirts.
I love
And
it.
I like have to buy like Woolite and I have to stop putting them in the dryer because I'm like, it's not gonna, this shirt isn't gonna fit me forever at this point, the way we're wearing
Right.
them. So that's Old Navy trick that's really good. I'm gonna have to look because we're
They
going,
get Yeah, they get holiday ones too. So
yeah.
when are you going?
I'm going to Disney World. We're going for Halloween at the beginning of October, and we're going into
Ah,
the Halloween party. And my son loves Halloween. He talks about Halloween all year round, wants to watch Halloween stuff all year round. And like, I'm not a
okay.
huge Halloween fan, but he loves it so much. I just know that he'll love this.
Sounds like my kindred spirit. He sounds like my man. Here we go, little dude. I can't wait. Okay, so I can't wait to see all the photos. You'll definitely have to photo bomb us
Oh,
and let us see all
yes.
these adorable photos. I assume you're having costumes.
We are. I can't really decide because, he's 4, so the
Yeah.
costume changes about every 20 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so and,
As it
he
should.
keeps saying he wants to be a ghost. I'm like,
A classic.
"Okay, but we can't do that one in the parks, so we gotta figure something
Right.
else out."
Good point. Good point. Yeah. So that's a good point because this photo is taken for Oogie Boogie Bash. So here's our classic Oogie Boogie villain for the party. He's the host with the most, and like slightly in the background, you can kind of see Carthay Circle is kind of lit up, and it had bats coming out and whatnot. But yeah, the costume guidelines, right, for the after parties are so important. They kind of give you in the commercials this idea of like, oh, and you can dress up, but kind of leave it there. But you have to kind of look through the bylaws there and the fine print and figure out no completely covering your face with a mask, no capes below your waist for an adult, which I think is valuable information. Because you think you just go as a Sanderson sister, right, with big long cape, but no, they will stop you with those big long capes And, things that look like a weapon or too pointy are not going to be allowed. If you start posing as the character for guest photos, that's a no-no. So always make sure you're informing people that if you are a really good belle and people want to take a photo with you, you make sure you let them know you're not the belle. So, yeah, and that's another thing, those big princess dresses, if they drag on the floor too much, they're not going to be allowed. So definitely, if you're going to those after parties, the ticketed events, Mickey's Not So Scary for Walt Disney World and Oogie Boogie for us Disneylanders, definitely look at those costume guidelines and make sure you don't put all this hard work and effort and show up into something they don't allow you in, because that's a hard thing to have to walk over to those lockers right there and have to put your stuff away.
Now, for Oogie Boogie Bash, is it on the California Adventure side or is it on both Disneyland and California Adventure?
Yeah, that is only at Disney's California Adventure Park. It's a ticketed event where you wouldn't even have to have a ticket for that park for that day or even a reservation for that day, since we're doing reservation system nowadays. You just have that hard ticketed event ticket loaded into your My Disney app, My Disney Experience app, or you can this year print them out, which is new. We couldn't do that last year, so this year you have that option in at your checkout. I heard that you could just kind of print them out. But yeah, the Disney California Adventure Park opens for those with the ticket at 3 o'clock. So even though the party doesn't start till 6 and goes from 6 to 11, you can start to come into the park at 3 o'clock and kind of get some rides out of the way. Maybe mobile order some of the food that's going to be popular later in the day. I know you just did a video about mobile ordering. So if you're unfamiliar with that, check out that video. Lauren did a great walkthrough of that for all of us. But I feel like if there's things that you're going to want, you really can mobile order far into advance. You don't have to have it right now, but those things sell out. There's food items that are just for the event, special drinks, things like that, that they always sell out early in the event, to where if you try to go and get it later in the day, they're gonna tell you sorry. So I suggest heavily to mobile order those things early. Second hot tip, get a locker right when you walk in the door. Disney California Adventure, they're right to the right when you walk through the turnstiles. Snag a locker right when you get there, because later those will sell out and you will wish you have it because you have a metric ton of candy. So bring an IKEA bag empty, keep it in the locker, and then just offload. And I swear to you, you will have an IKEA bag full of candy when you leave, if you do all of the treat trails to see all of the different villains.
So that's how it works. You see villains and they're handing out candy.
So yeah, it's really great because notoriously Disneyland after parties that are held at the other park at Disneyland proper, we'll call it, they notoriously have hour-long lines to meet rare characters, because the folks that are going to this party are mainly people who live in the area. They go to Disneyland on a regular basis, and now they're going to this after party to see special things that they can't see during regular hours. One of those things being rare characters. I went to a 90s night and they had the Tailspin characters, wildly popular, to be able to meet those guys from, the old TV show. So if you don't want to spend your whole night waiting in these long lines to meet rare characters, the way that Halloween Oogie Boogie Night works is you kind of just walk by them. The villains are there. They're up kind of on a stage, elevated, and they have like little skits and things that they're doing and saying, and they'll interact with you and talk to you about, personal things about your costume, things like that. But as you're walking, you're just kind of like walking by them in a queue. And then there's cast members at the end handing candy out. And so you get to kind of like have that interaction, but you're not stopping and taking pictures. You're kind of like, you can, pause and take those pictures, but you're not the traditional meet and greets that you see. And then that way you can kind of get through a lot of the characters and still be able to watch the parade, still be able to go grab the special treats, still be able to do all of the offerings that they have, Villains Grove, things like that.
Now, are the rides open during this time too?
Yes, the rides are open. You usually have, let's say, on a traditional day, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half for a ride like Guardians of the Galaxy, um, Mission Breakout. On nights like Oogie Boogie, 5, 10 minutes, walk-ons for all these things. Great time if you want to do these rides. Things like Web Slingers, I don't know if it will be open during the event, but when those kind of heavy hitters are open, that's definitely the time to hit them because the locals are doing the things like the parade, um, which is spectacular. It has Headless Horseman comes down, with grave diggers come with their shovels and do a whole thing. It's very, very similar to Mickey's Not So Scary's parade. But people really, really, really love to do those kind of things. So you can get right on the rides if that's your thing, if you're going. I would even say like that 3 to 11 o'clock that you're allowed to be in the park, you could probably get more done than a traditional day at the park during regular hours because the lines are just nothing.
That's good information. Good. All right. Well, we talked about this picture, so I won't make you talk about it again. But here are some other random pictures that I've put together.
Yeah, yes. So here on the left side where I'm in the little bathtub from Nightmare Before Christmas, this is like one of those Oogie Boogie Bash special ticketed event photo ops that you can do. And they're just sprinkled around the park. You can take your photos. If you notice, the photo that I took with the giant Mickey is taken at night because it's less popular of a line. And this one is taken during the day, also less popular because I don't like to wait in line. So that's a very, very popular theme with me is finding ways to not have to wait in the lines and kind of like set the flow of your day to where you're doing these things when no one else is doing them. Yeah, and on the right is another one of those photo ops that the Disney Photopass members can take for you. This is me and my daughter. There she is in her Frankenstein shirt from Old Navy. But yeah, I don't know. We can see a little bit of the pumpkin purse there too.
Yes.
It's making its debut. This is a fun one, Cars Land. So let's talk about Cars Land. And Cars Land gets a complete makeover for Halloween. Wherein Disneyland Park at Halloween time, Halloween decorations everywhere, through and through, turnstiles decorated. As soon as you come in the gate, you've got all that floral everything. But over at Disney California Adventure, it's more a lighting package at night. And during the day, maybe not as many decorations that are up. However, Cars Land completely, completely remade. They have this photo op where you can come and take a photo like on your way over to do Radiator Springs. Mater's ride has an overlay that they have Halloween music playing. It's the Mater's Jamboree instead of the Jamboree, which it usually is. So it's really cute. And then the Luigi's ride gets a Halloween overlay as well, where the cars are dancing to a Halloween song rather than their usual, songs that they do. But all down Cars Land, there's Halloween decorations everywhere. The Cozy Cone Motel gets a look where all the cones look scary with their faces and things, and it's great. It's really great.
That's so cute. I love that. Now, are Photopass photos included in the cost of the ticket, or do you have to pay for them separately?
So Photopass is included with Oogie Boogie Bash tickets.
That's
So if
really
that's
good.
something you want to do, yeah. And if you want to be really diligent about saving all of your time, you can book a day at California Adventure, ticket a day, have that day with Genie Plus, and those will have photos, and then also have Oogie Boogie Bash at the evening. So you just huge Halloween Photo extravaganza.
Yeah, I really like that it's included in Genie Plus. That is nice.
Yeah, that makes up for that $5 difference that we have because it's $20
Yes,
for us. So I guess if they're like, you have Photopass. It's like, well, then I will find every Photopass.
exactly. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, they have kind of some decorations here and there. Here's one of the ones on the right where they just kind of decorate a Carthy circle with some bats. So, and so you'll see like it's sparse, you know what I mean? They really rely heavily on that lighting package at night. But
Yeah.
once it is nighttime at California Adventure, it is Halloween with the lighting package. And then on the left, you can barely see, but I'm stuck in one of Ursula's little potion bottles there, right in the middle.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I can see you. You're right
Yep,
here.
yep. I'm stuck.
Ooh, it was like
So,
an I Spy.
yeah, yeah. So one of those fun photo ops that they do.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. That's so
And as you
fun.
see, I take advantage of them all. So,
And I see that it's light out, so
yeah.
obviously it's less popular when it's light out.
So one of the first things I do, hit it right up, you know what I mean?
Yes, that's so cool. All right, this is our last picture.
Okay. So this was taken over at Cafe Orleans in Disneyland Resort. This is the Dr. Facilier, my favorite villain from Princess and the Frog. This is a treat that they had just for the Halloween season. So something to note, your dining reservations, you have to make them 60 days before you go. And a lot of times they haven't announced these special menus yet. So places like Cafe Orleans always has Halloween treats, Halloween desserts on the menu. So if you're thinking about where to make a reservation, just keep that in mind for Halloween time. They always have special things that maybe haven't been announced yet, but you want to snag that spot because you know that that's going to be something that they offer. Something else for dining to keep a note of is in Boogie Boogie Bash during that hard ticketed event there is a parade. And an option is to do a parade viewing dining package where you get like a dessert party, you get like a dessert tray, they give you unlimited drinks where someone comes and serves them to you and you have a seated place that you can watch the parade while you have those treats and those things. So that's something that's wildly popular and you want to keep track of because as soon as those go up, they usually sell out, but it is a very, very fun thing to do.
So you can buy that in addition to the ticket? Okay.
Yes, in addition to your sometimes I have not seen it announced this year,
Mhm,
but they have the World of Color has
mhm.
a Halloween show that goes along with Oogie Boogie Bash. And when they do that, that also has a viewing dessert party that you can get. And it also has and the parade may as well has at the Sonoma Terrace, they have a dinner. So it's not desserts and drinks, it's more like a plated meal. And that has parade viewing as well for the Oogie Boogie Bash.
That's really cool. Okay, do you have any other tips or tricks that you want to share with anyone about Oogie
If
Boogie
costumes,
Bash?
we did
You've talked
costumes,
about so
dining.
much.
Yeah, lockers are key. They will move, and I'm serious. As soon as you walk in, snag a locker because you will want it and they will be gone.
It's so
So
different. It's so funny how different it is than Disney World.
it is, you have to be fast. You have to know these things ahead of time because the locals know it and they are relentless when it comes to their appetite for Disneyland. So things like merch. So we can talk about that. Special pins, special shirts, special mugs will sell out. Things that are Oogie Boogie themed for so you want to get in line and grab those things first thing if it is something on your list that you want, they will sell out. So a tip for that is when you go into Oogie Boogie Bash, there's stores all down Buena Vista Street. That's their kind of main street area. And when you turn left, there's some little stores. One's called Five and Dime. And they have something that's great where you can shop, put things in your basket and scan it on your phone. And then when you get to the checkout area near the door, there's someone there who checks your items and checks they have a thing. They give you a receipt if you want it in a bag and that kind of thing at the door, but you don't have to go through the traditional line. So you can kind of avoid that kind of mad rush. If you know what you want ahead of time, can just go in there, snag it, scan it with your phone, and then you have time to, go to the tree trails and go to the parade, do these things that you wanted to do. That's a huge tip. Another tip is Villains Grove. Villains Grove is a huge feature of Oogie Boogie Bash. It's kind of like when we talk about Halloween Horror Nights, a Universal, that kind of thing, they have those mazes that you go through, scary mazes. It's not scary like that. It's more ethereal and spooky, but it is this kind of like maze that you walk through. They take the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, shut it down, and kind of make it over into this place where, as you go through, it has different areas that are themed to different villains: Cheshire Cat, Evil Queen. And these things just have like a lighting package and some sounds and things and mist, and you're just kind of walking through like a forest that's enchanted. And that is wildly popular. So if that's something you want to do, line up for it early. Because if you can line up for it early, let's say you get into the park at 3 o'clock and that's not going to open till 6 o'clock. But if you can position yourself at like 5:15, 5:30 over in that area in the kind of Redwood Creek area and line up for that and be one of the first people through, you can get through a little faster because there's not as many people in front of you stopped and kind of like doing that. But also it has so much more of an impact when you don't have a crowd of folks in front of you and it has like big wide open space and you're able to really enjoy the lighting and the effects, and there's a lot of lighting and like some little tricks that happen and things. So really, really take your time to go through there, but get there early so that you're able to not have to be in a little pack, because that is one of the hugely popular things that will build a line, and you'll have a long wait later in the day. Or you can leave it till the very last thing that you do and hop in the line right when they're cutting you off. Because like at 11, as long as the way that Disneyland Park works, as long as you're in the line right at the closing time, you can go through. So if you get in that line right at the end, then you're kind of the last person to meander through, and they'll let you take your time to go through there. So that's nice.
That is nice. Wow. This was so much information. So
Yeah,
very helpful. And yeah, you know a lot about Disneyland.
I do. I do. I feel like I'm always trying to like, oh, how do I group this into chunks and make it understandable? Calling on my old knowledge as a teacher. So
Yes. You know how to do it. I make random slides that you have to figure out how to talk about them.
yeah,
That's
no,
how you
I
do
should
it.
have been more. Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
been
fine.
hectic here, so
I
I
know.
should have been more like descriptive when I sent them over, but I just
No,
figured I could just
a
speak
bunch
on
of
things.
people,
Yes.
they just send me their pictures and I'm like, I'm just gonna make it what I think it should look like together. So
Yeah, you group them in a very logical way.
yes, sort of. Now that I've heard you talk, maybe not, but that's okay. So
That's fine.
again, Sarah is a travel advisor. Her information is below if you'd like to reach out. Obviously, she sells Disneyland, but she sells everything, Disney World, cruising, everything. So if you want to reach out to Sarah, you can do that with her information below or contact me and I will get you to Sarah. And I want everyone to come back when Sarah is talking about the hotels at Disneyland because it's totally
Yes.
different.
That's going to be really valuable to know about, all of the different options and what's important to you, and how to
Mhm.
choose the one based on that. I had a good way of categorizing them all based on like what your needs are. So,
Yep.
and for Halloween, just know I put together a really great package for if you want to do Halloween in Southern California with Knott's Scary Farm,
Oh, yeah.
Universal Halloween Horror Nights, and a Disney resort day. So if Halloween's your thing, Southern California definitely goes hard. So I like to like to showcase that my hometown.
Nice. That's great. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for coming on,
Yeah,
and thank
thank you
you
so much for having me.
all for watching. And Sarah will be back, and we will see you next time. Bye.